Man, we're back in the building. Another episode of Absent Share Podcast. We back for another one. Episode. I don't even know what episode number we on at this point. I know we in the hundreds somewhere, but new episode, new details, new things to discuss, new things to talk about today. I think we haven't done this in a while on our podcast, so I think we should start off with some good things before we get into everything that we're gonna discuss today.
Shit. My arm had been messed up, so I got back healthy. I'm still working on it though, so that's good.
What exactly did you do to your arm?
I don't know. I just overworked it, I guess, but I ended up having tendonitis, so I inflamed my arm. What the fuck, boy?
What happened?
You put like aliens and shit on the
What
screen.
is it? Oh shit! Hold on. Get that shit out the screen. Out the screen. All right. Anyways, I see Wardo in the building. Salute to you. Yeah, man. I mean, good things. Just life's going good. Can't really. Besides that, you can't really complain. Life's going good for you. Bills getting paid. Shit getting done on time. Everything's good. So, what do you want to get into first? Do you want to get into the shit first? Do you want to maybe?
Man, hey. I know we in supposedly sensitive times.
It ain't supposedly, nigga. It is.
I'll get into why I said that. But hey, first of all, we gotta get into Brandy watching this nigga Jake Harlow. Ain't no way in hell I'm gonna gloss over this shit. We speaking on this shit first. It ain't gotta be long, but that nigga got 24 hours to respond.
Yeah, do not gotta respond to this shit. That nigga do not gotta respond to this shit.
That nigga said you ain't. She said you ain't jacking the streets. I'm jacking all trades, my boy. What you?
What was? I don't get the point. What was the point of her doing it?
It don't matter. She on his ass. Protect black women.
Hell nah. That shit was that shit. I saw that shit. I was like, Brandy, you don't have to do this. You're Brandy. You don't have to do that.
She might have overreacted, but nigga, she can't correct like a motherfucker.
I think if Jack Harlow did respond, he probably would wash her. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Man, hell no. I haven't heard Jack Harlow be able to spit to the capacity that Brandy did.
I can't.
Bro, what you gonna go off? You gonna go off for what? The fucking other hit before this last one? That's his bars? What's Jack Harlow's best songs with bars?
Bro, it's better than Brandy.
Man, that shit. You crazy as hell.
Even the song he did with Drake, even though he's like this thing, my thing with Jack Harlow, he sounds like Drake, but it's not like he's trash.
He doesn't. I don't even love that comparison. So ass. He's ass. Stop it.
You're tripping.
Y'all be giving that nigga too much credit. I
didn't say the nigga is Drake or he has the same level as Drake. The little quirky little shit that Drake be saying is the same shit Jack Harlow be doing. Do it sound corny? Yes. But I ain't gonna act like this nigga's like dog water, trash. Like get him like I can compare him to like the really, really trash niggas I think are really trash.
I compare him to an amateur. Just like Brandy maybe when it come to rapping. And she was on that nigga ass. So I want to hear that shit. Yeah, that nigga's on the most bottom layer tier of rapper, bro. Like, I'm sorry. You can't put Russ. There's so many niggas above that nigga. Stop it. He's an amateur.
That don't mean just because niggas above him don't mean he's like at the bottom tier, niggas.
He's at the bottom tier, bro. You can't put that nigga in what tier you putting that nigga in? Come on, bro. Stop it.
As far as what being a rapper?
Yes.
Like just rapping, just bars, lyrics, just that. I put him in like the C tier.
Who else you got in C tiers?
I mean, fuck, I don't know off the top of my head. Name somebody.
You ain't putting you. I don't know C tier rappers, but I know that nigga probably not even there.
Okay.
But that nigga amateur. And what does it? Like I said, Brandy watched that nigga. She used her ability to write as a singer that's better than this nigga and put that shit in the rap and watch that nigga. Can we acknowledge that? You can talk about it being unreasonable. You can talk about if Jack responds, it may be better. But at the fucking present moment, she watched that motherfucking nigga.
I think you don't. Like, if that was any other if that was Pusha T, as any other, but I guess it's Brandy. So, you don't expect too much from her. But, like, you don't like Jack Harlow, nigga. That's why you say he got washed. Like, let's keep it out of it. But come on, she didn't wash it, nigga. She said some little shit. I'm the Jack of I'm Ray J sister. Whatever the fuck she said. I don't remember what she said. But like, stop it. Now you just like,
What do you mean? Like, yeah, she didn't come from her nigga family and try to
I
end
didn't
his
say she had to
career.
do all that, but
But
no,
like,
the way she watched him, like she didn't say nothing immaculate, like what a crazy.
bro, she had some good ass bars in there, bro.
Name them.
I just said it, nigga. I
Jack,
literally said.
I'm not. You're
You
not
know what I
Jack
mean?
in the
Jack
Box.
to the streets. That shit hard than a bitch. Y'all niggas crazy. Y'all niggas crazy, bro. I know y'all love Jack for whatever reason, but that nigga's
Why do y'all niggas be doing this? So y'all be talking. Nobody love the nigga.
Oh,
I just don't think he's, like, I think he's as trash as you
I
think
ain't
he
gonna lie
is.
to you. I don't think he
I
is.
don't think he's as trash as you believe that he is.
I think he's an amateur. Bro, when I hear him rap, he's not comparable to 90% of the niggas that I've heard before. That nigga's literally, I think, bottom tier. Not Lil Pump. No, he's not Lil Pump and Lil Xan and them. He's above that. He's above Tekashi. But there's so many other niggas above them too.
That's why I said he was C. I didn't say
That's
he was
not
like
saying much
A or
though.
B or like,
I sound like YB Twitter. I don't know where to put him at, but I know he's at the bottom of the rap tiers. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know. It's the only reason this nigga even gets the attention he gets is because it's white. His music is nowhere near as good as the esteem that he has right now. And that's crazy to me. That niggas is getting that shit confused. I can't lie to you.
I don't know what esteem is he getting. I feel like he getting trashed all over social media.
Musically, recently, but a lot of niggas is giving him like a backing like he's earned it or some shit. Like what Jack Harlow y'all really like talking about he's next up or he's good off of? I'm not if it wasn't on his last album, maybe I need to go listen to the album before that, but it wasn't on that last album. Yeah. I'm sorry.
All right. And Wardo, y'all niggas, I don't even want to talk to y'all niggas. You, Trev Photographer, y'all Chief Keys, I don't even want to talk to y'all niggas.
Y'all know punishment.
Y'all, I guess like that shit like the most ridiculous take I've ever heard. It don't even make no sense. But I'm not gonna rehash that. We were talking about the past 3 episodes or whatever. So I'll let that one go for today. Cause that's just like ridiculous. The shit that y'all be saying. Like it's crazy to me how like niggas can get on here and be on their little keyboards and comments. Y'all don't know shit, but then they'll get on social media and they say some wild shit like Chief Meek Mill, and this ain't Ward who said it. I think what's his name said it. Chief Meek Mill wishes he was Chief Keef's. Like, are you fucking? Are you ridiculous? What are you talking about?
What do you rank Lil Yachty?
What I rank Lil Yachty as far as rapping?
Yes.
What
tier?
Like a D tier.
Okay.
Look at D tier.
Jack ain't too far from him. They closer than farther apart. I tell you that goddamn much.
It's like a D tier. A D tier.
But I'll leave it. That was the only one I could think that may be a C. But I agree that nigga may be D tier.
In the same breath, you'll dismiss it. Everything Bryce said about Meek and Kendrick. Yeah, Ella Rafi, boy, I fuck with it. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll dismiss everything Bryce said about Meek and Kendrick.
He didn't dismiss it. He just was understanding my point.
Yeah, I just like, I'm hearing what you like. If a motherfucker say I like listen to somebody's music more than somebody else, I'm not gonna like that's your opinion on what you think is better. Now, when niggas say Chief Keef is so much greater than Meek Mill, it's like, bro, we can look at these niggas' career. Like niggas ain't going past that one album and really thinking like I feel like nobody who listens to music logically could think that Chief Keef is better than Meek Mill in any way, shape, or form. That's just like a ridiculous take that I don't think anybody actually has.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I see people do have that take, but it's like Meek Mill be considered like one of the people who like people throw on the Mount Rushmore. Maybe he's like 5th or whatever as far as the people of his generation. As far as Chief Keef goes, it was like that was there. People love that album, but after that, it was nothing. Like who gives a fuck? Nah, y'all niggas was saying that Chief Keef was better than Meek.
Yeah, I think that's on record. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I think I could probably rewind it and y'all was saying some wild shit. But anyways, it don't even matter. It don't even matter. And Finally Rich isn't a classic. I went back and listened to that shit's not a classic. I think niggas just like Chief Keef and his influence and all that type of shit, but that album's not a classic. I can say that definitively right here. I might have said it on the last episode just going along with what everybody else says about it, but after going back and listening to it, that's not a classic album. It's a people like it for it's like a big moment that happened. I guess that you might want to throw that into what consider something classic, but when I look at other albums, like I said, unless there's a tier to classics, like there's Good Kid, Mad City, there's Take Care. It's like Is that album anywhere in the stratosphere of those we're talking about, like just like truly classic albums? No, like stop it. But unless there's a classic tier, then we're gonna have to go into that whole conversation. But if we're gonna throw out the actual classics, and then y'all gonna say "Finally Rich," put it next to "Take Care," put it next to "Good Kid, Man City," put it next to "My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy," it's like shut the fuck up. That's not going nowhere near those.
Put it next to one of the Migos classics. Like,
put it next to "Culture," it's not going there. But anyways. man. But music debates, they're fun. They're fun to do. They're good to have. You know, it's all entertainment. Everybody got their own opinion. Everybody think what they think. You know, it's all good, man. So, what do you want to get to next, man? We got a couple of topics we got listed here.
I think we can get into the deep one.
Right.
And I don't know if you have like a cinematic thing you want to like kind of present it as, but all the reason I said supposedly hard times or sensitive times is because tomorrow it'll be forgot about. And when I look into the mainstream talking points, no one's really addressing the real problems, the root of the problems.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of band-aids. So that's why I say supposedly sensitive times. What this is like the 20th time it happened this year or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh no, it's
I
happened
know they say there's mass shootings, but I don't know like to
to
different
to the level of a school
Yeah,
shooting.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
because
know the level of it.
some mass shootings get classified as like group shootings and stuff like that.
Yeah, like
So
if like multiple people get shot at a scene, like say it's a drive-by, that's a mass shooting. But it's like
I get that.
it's still a mass shooting. It's still a mass shooting. It's still fucked up. But
my
you know,
my point is that it happens consistently enough to understand that it needs to be addressed seriously. And
yeah,
each time it happens, it just get passed by. Like the black shooting in the grocery store just happened not too long ago.
yeah,
It was literally out of the talking points until this probably happened.
yeah.
And a week from now, the same thing.
I ain't gonna lie, because that the black if this didn't happen, that black people getting killed in the supermarket story was kind of here really quickly. People were sad about it. They was talking about it, and then like it's just kind of like removed quickly out of the public sphere. We wasn't talking about, hey, let's ban this, hey, let's do that, hey, let's do this. But now you're back to the, hey, let's ban guns, or let's do this, or let's do that. And personally, I don't know. I honestly don't even know what you would do. I have no idea. People have their theories. They have whatever. Do you just ban assault rifles? Do you do universal background checks for everybody? Do you do this? Do that? I do not know.
Only thing I could kind of answer to the question I say when I talk about dressing the root is, I mean, really look at the culture of America. Like, if we really had a leader in America instead of Joe Biden asking questions, nigga, what the fuck? What are we going to do? When are we going to stop? Like, if we really had leaders in place, bro, we'll be addressing the cultures of why these people are toxic or why these people even pop up as this such occurrence. Like in other countries, they don't have it, and they have probably lesser means than us. So there's something that we need to address in our culture. But
well, definitely, we have more access to guns than other societies.
That may be true. So
Because like if you I looked at a chart that was on social media. It was like the number of mass shootings like per country, and it was like America 288. Right now by the year, I think it's like all time 288. The next closest was Mexico with 8.
That's crazy.
Like, bro, that's an astronomical like number compared to other countries.
But I still think there's as far as the education system, as far as like the deep rooted hatred for like subgenres or cultures or religions. It's a lot of a lot of hate. It's a lot of real toxic. Shit. It's a lot of real toxic tribalism in our shit that leads to these things. For us to be such a advanced culture or a society, so I feel like those is where we really start at. But.
Yeah, I mean, like fuck, I don't know. Like I'm just looking at what everybody said on social media. What's y'all's thing? What do y'all think would happen? What do y'all think should happen? I saw somebody say like they was bringing up how we can give $40 billion to Ukraine, but we can't spend $40 billion to like secure schools. And they kind of broke down the math. It was like $40 billion went to Ukraine. There's about 100,000 public schools. I don't know about private schools. They may have their own security thing, but public schools in America. That breaks down to about $400,000 per school, which you could hire, I guess, an additional 4 to 5 security, or you can, solidify. I just don't know what to do.
I do have a question when you talk about the security, because they obviously need to be taken more seriously. And I think I talked about this in the barbershop. I got two parts here. Um, how we have like cops and shit in the school. We had like 3 or 4 in high school, but they don't really have them in elementary and middle school because that's really for the internal problems. It's not really worried about external.
Yeah.
So I think those cops and shit that have to focus on being external, uh, and they'll have to put those also in middle schools and elementaries, to solve that. But I also wondered, how did he get inside the building? Because almost every elementary I know, when you try to go pick up your brothers or when you try to go pick up your kids, there's the initial gate or door you can open. Then after that, there's the
I'm
door
not.
that's
I'm
always
not.
locked.
I'm not sure what entrance he went through. I just know I saw a video. Because the thing about it is he shot his grandma right
Yeah, I heard about
in the
that.
face. I thought she died, but she's still alive. She's fighting for her life.
Wow.
And so that happened. I guess somebody, because it's a small community, maybe somebody called the police or something. So he was being chased by the police before he crashed his car into the ditch, got out, and ran to the school. Now, I don't know what door he went through to get into the school, but they was already on him before he ran into school. Then that's when he ran to a classroom and barricaded himself in the room with obviously the 19 children and the 2 teachers that he ended up killing. He ran to school quick. I guess he just ran into a classroom and then,
Yeah.
just
So
started going like that.
the schools, from my understanding, besides high schools, even high school, most of the doors be locked.
And
You're
also,
not
this
supposed to
school
get
didn't
in.
look like the most, up to date, like, what I'm saying, nicest. So I don't know how it works at their school. I don't know, because I do know that even before the shooter came there, like a little bit earlier in the day, it was like an end of the school year program. So other parents were there as well. They had like an award ceremony. So I don't, I don't know. Maybe somebody left
Things
the
like
door open
that.
a
Yeah.
little bit. I don't know exactly how it works, but like I said, when we was at school, those side doors and shit like that, if you late for school, you really can't. Sometimes you can get in them. Certain doors were open. Like it was either front or that one side area that we used to always like run to class and get caught by the
But that's
principal.
high school.
Yeah.
Middle school and elementary, them halls be locked.
Oh yeah, they should be. They definitely should be. I don't know how he got in this school. Like I said, it doesn't look like the greatest school, the most updated school. So I don't know how they're. I mean, they still should have locks, but I don't know how this shit was set up. But yeah, I
Nah,
don't
I
know.
mean, it's easy to understand they got caught like slipping, but it gets to that point. It's like you almost like a bank, nigga. Like our children is the future, nigga. Y'all have to protect them. Like it
Yeah,
was just as important as protecting money or any other assets, and you can't leave that. You can't leave any risk. Everything needs to be essentially like thought out, and all the possibilities of how people can attack should be thought out. Because I mean, at the end of the day, they're valuable.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like Wardo, he just sent me a tweet. He said, "This is his." I guess he went his little promo on the show. He said, "You could thank Greg Abbott for that shooting. He literally let anyone 18 or older get a gun with no permit last year." But I read an article this morning that although you can still get a gun, it's not that you can get a. I mean, you can get a gun with no permit. The law was really you could carry around a gun with no permit, but when you go get a gun, they said you still had to get background checks. But then also the article said some places you may not have to get background checks. But it says he bought the rifles at a federal like artillery place. So I would assume if you got the word federal on, that means like they actually checked them out. And if he had nothing sketchy in his past, if he was just a quiet kid, a weirdo, even doing a background check wouldn't have done anything because nothing would have came up on the kid. You know what I'm saying? So like that wouldn't even stop anything regardless.
I dislike the finger pointing. Yeah, Greg Abbott maybe could be a better leader in other ways, but to suggest that's the problem, bro. If there's a will, there's a way when it comes to gun laws. I remember you said something important. It was like if you ban guns, essentially like you think, or if you ban ARs and stuff like that, automatics, you think the people that carry those that illegally care about that law, like you're gonna take it from all the people that's law-abiding citizen, and
Yeah.
there's still gonna be a bunch of civilians or whatever you want to call it, degenerates that still have those things. So it's kind of pointless, and it's the
I just
same for
I
this.
just wonder
There's
like
all
oh, my
there's
bad.
always like a back alley or what do you call that shit? Like online sites and things that you can find these things, bro. Like let's
Yeah.
not act like, bro. Let's not act stupid. But that's pretty much it.
I just wonder though with that, like would these kids be that resourceful? Like I'm not saying that's impossible for them not to it's not impossible for them to be that resourceful to figure out a way to do it, but like would they even like? Well, I can't really get it so right, so I'm just gonna be like, I don't like. I get that you can. There's a will way. I know that anything like when you take everybody's guns, like we're not gonna act like criminals still gonna have guns. We're seeing these kids get swept on all these indictments and they get arrested, and the police lay out all these guns they got. These kids got AKs. Like where are they getting these guns from? They're gonna get the guns regardless. And that's just street shit. I don't even know about like loner kids. I don't know what they're doing to get their guns besides the legal way. But also with that is. Most mass shooters, like recently we're seeing like the guy in Buffalo. That's one of those ones where I feel like that should have been a red flag. If literally last year he got admitted to a mental hospital for writing on a school assignment that when he retires, he wants to commit murder-suicide, and he gets put in a mental thing for a couple of hours. Like, I feel like there should be a red flag on that guy. Maybe not for the rest of his life, but at least for the immediate, it's kind of like your credit. Like 7 years, like 7 years, it'll fall off. You know what I'm saying? Maybe just a dumb, because there's kids that are like dumb, and you know what I'm saying? Maybe just an idiot, dumb kid. We're gonna figure his life out.
Your ass gonna permanently be on the no. You can get on the fly list, but your ass gonna always be on double check that nigga.
Yeah, well, you're gonna be on the alert list. Yeah. We gotta check you out just in case, because you did say some questionable shit when you was younger.
But I want to answer your question about what he still go to those links. Like, can't you still do that with a pistol and stuff like that if we get rid of that?
Oh, like, you can still kill me with a pistol.
Yeah, that's all. And my next point would be, if a man will shoot his grandma in the face, like it got to be some level of like, I don't give a fuck, and I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm gonna get the job done. We've seen kids create bombs out of fucking nothing. Like that was a thing for a while, and then we switched to guns. But kids gonna be resourceful. These kids are very creative with some of their madness that they have, or people in general. I shouldn't even label them kids because whatever. They probably got influenced by some dirty ass adult for them to even know how to make a fucking bomb or even get the idea that this shit. So we know how this shit go. Yeah. So it's some dirty ass adults out here, man. So it's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, but I blame these video games, kids playing COD all day, every day. I don't know, because I mean, like, it's like I see. It's like, because I used to play Call of Duty. I want to fucking kill. Like, I don't know what I don't know if that's the. I think there's a thing that's like what they say, like with rap music. Like, I think rap music does attribute to certain things, more so when it comes to like the guys that are actually like rapping about killing people. Like they're actually like glorifying, like, hey, we killed TT last week at the court, like that type of shit. But, and I'm not even gonna say that these kids. I don't know.
I had one game correlation since we kind of on the topic. My version of what a school shooter, because people like how to compare, like you said, flying low. My version of what a school shooter would be on a game is not a person playing the game. It's one of these people, like, y'all don't know if y'all play the game enough, but they cheat and they create like bot. They can like just kill people from anywhere with any gun, and they just beam shoot them. And it's like they can kill a whole lobby without knowing how to play the game and not be good because they pay for it. And it's literally cheats on the game. Warzone and all type of shit, try to get rid of it. Some games literally get trashed because of that starts to happen. It's called modding or whatever. Yeah. And they figure out how to put mods online. And I feel like those are the niggas that become school shooters. They ruin the fucking game. They can kill up to 50. It could be 100 people in the lobby. They can kill everybody in the lobby essentially. Like, I would think somebody like that. It's like, how do you get enjoyment out of doing something like that? But even then, that's a reach. They could be a little kid that just suck. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like, I was kind of being funny with that thought. But I of course not, bro. Like that's like saying I could like want to play fucking tennis on a game and it's gonna make me want to go outside and do it. Like, it sounds good. But
I just think it's people that I don't even know the mind and psyche. I can't imagine. It's hard for me to imagine ever getting to a place where, you know what, I'm about to kill. Because like there's not really, I've had a school shooter, they don't really have a plan. They're really not like, okay, I'm gonna kill 10 people and like then I'm done. Like they might have a couple people they want to kill, but if you kind of get in the way, you get in the way, and I kind of gotta take you out. And also my theory with this kid was, because I started seeing all this shit, like, he was bullied because he was poor and he was this motherfucker. I hate it. Bullied everybody is fucking bullied. Hey, you're fat. Hey, you look funny. Hey, you're short. Hey, you're whatever. Yeah, it sucks. That's life. I know in high school we all thought that like that was life, and like girls get their little news leaked and their life is over. And now look, you're 28 and nobody even gives a fuck that your news leaked in high school. Like that's not life. But kids get sucked into that and they think that that's their life. I was wondering if, since he shot his grandma. My thing was the elementary school the actual target? Because if he's getting bullied in high school, I would assume he wants to go to his school and shoot people in high school. But since now he was getting chased by the police and he just so happened to crash by the elementary school, was that just okay, I ain't gonna make it to my high school, I'm gonna do something though. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if that was the play, or it was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go to this middle school and shoot it. Because they did say his grandma worked at the middle school, but she retired in 2020, so I don't know if that has a correlation. Because if you remember the Sandy Hook shooting, the guy who went and killed 26 of those kids, he pretty much was saying like, his little manifesto thing, like, my mom shows these kids way more attention than she ever showed me, and he was like some dumb shit like that. Yeah. That's why he went to school and killed all them kids and killed the teachers and killed his mama. Like, evil. It's just I don't know, man. Especially I got kids, so I start thinking about all that. You know me, I'm a fucking, I don't know if the word's a hypochondriac. I start thinking about too much. I told y'all the story last week about the grocery store. I'm thinking somebody gonna shoot me in the grocery. It's just too much, man.
I just feel like he was a coward. I don't want to blame bullying, because I even seen somebody say he had iPhone 15 or some shit. I don't know what new iPhone it is. Yeah. An AR and some Yeezys. Like, he couldn't have been too bad in life. Yeah. Really, I don't bully. Like, bro, you got shit going for you in life. You all right. Like, it's kids in worse circumstances. And like I said, going back into the game shit and saying, oh, it's people that play the game. We all play the game. We all been bullied. Like, bro, these people are such an anomaly. You can't blame those things on that, because there's too many people that are good citizens, or niggas that are heroes that came off of playing games or anything like that's, had that in their life or whatever, been bullied. Like, it's been niggas that changed the world that's been bullied. It's been niggas that's changed the world that play games. So it's just, you can't correlate that shit. Yeah. Those people are just 100% sick, bro. And like, you said, I can't even imagine what gets a person to that. Like, what makes a person wake up and like on a consistent like basis and be like, I'm gonna go do this, like, and like the rage inside of them grows even stronger and stronger, like because you have to like fight yourself to get there. Like, that's not just something like you be like,
I feel like that's not something natural unless you're just a sociopath. This is like not a
like it has to be days and days. It's like I mean, I don't want to get into other people's shit, but like suicide, like they fight themselves. Like, they might have tried to do it a few other times before they actually went through with it. Yeah, and like, that's no different than a lot of people that do shit. Like, they'll step around it before they actually get into it, and that's with most things in life. So it's just like, how does what drives a person's habits or lifestyle things to keep waking up? Like, what are they watching? Now we can go into rabbit holes in YouTube or rabbit holes on internet, and
I would say more the radicalization and shit like that.
Yeah, and then we could get some points, because it has to be some type of echo chamber, because it's not reality. Like, I don't care how hard life is in America. It's nothing that hard to be like, I'm gonna go fuck up killing everybody else. That's life is just as hard as mine. Like, I don't feel that when I go out in the world. Like, I feel a lot of shit when I go out in America. And I think America can be trash, but I don't think that's a theme that people should be fucking feeling. So I think it has to be some level of echo chamber that he put himself in, or he somehow gravitated to somehow. Because that's the only thing that can explain it to me. And I guess you could call them a level of incels, but I don't want to, because incels just get this nasty term, bro. Like, last time I checked, incels are involuntary celibate. Like, bro, all of those people are not fucking evil. Like, there's regular day-to-day men and women that are like that. Like, that don't mean they about to go create a fucking hate crime or do a hate crime. So, but of course, they are the people that be in the fucking basement, or like I said, don't get out much and trapped in these things. But I don't want to just put that on incels. Yeah, incels are weird or may have certain society flaws, but I don't think there's so many incels that have infected the world in good ways. Going back into these other dynamics or whatever games and shit like that, there's so many incels that's done great. I don't think you could say that's a correlation to why people create hate crimes. Yeah, they may be weird and have society problems, or they don't fit in, but I think these people are even a different level of weird than them. Like,
hold on, man. So you can believe they were influenced by something, but believe video game. Like for example, this guy, I don't really know too much. I can't really give you a gauge on why he did his thing or what he whatever. But like, for instance, the guy who killed the people at the supermarket in Buffalo. You can see somebody going down a rabbit hole of those 8chan, 4chan, black people are here to replace us, Mexicans people are here to replace us. We must fight back, brothers. They're coming to take our country. There, like, you can see, I would believe that more than like oh, he played Call of Duty for like 24 hours a day and it made him want to go kill people. Especially when you have something attached to it, like, hey, I am literally going to go kill black people. Like I'm gonna for a certain reason, not like, hey, I'm just out here like I'm in Call of Duty. I got my camo on and my gear, and I'm out here just playing the game like it's GTA or it's. I would think that's more reasonable than the game did it.
Like, let's be real. You don't have kids on games like Grand Theft Auto. You don't have teenagers on Grand Theft Auto. You don't have high schools. You don't have like certain.
No bullshit. I was on Grand Theft Auto.
You had a high school.
In high school, you didn't play Grand Theft Auto.
No, you don't have high schools that you can go in and Grand Theft Auto and then go spray the whole fucking school down. Like you can't, it's not like you even simulate those. Like there's no game with the theme of being able to do that. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
like, there's no games that push that message. There's no games that leans towards that message. Just because you're shooting online, like that's like saying I play basketball on 2K and I'm gonna be a better shooter outside in real life. Like it just don't correlate. I'm sorry. Like maybe I'm reaching with that correlation, but I don't know. Just because you shoot and like, okay, for instance, I sell drugs on a game. That don't mean I'm gonna go sell drugs in real life. Or I may buy a hooker on the game. That don't mean I'm gonna go buy hookers in real life. Like I may act like a fucking drug pin on the game, but that don't mean like I'm not gonna do that.
I don't want to completely discount what you're saying because I get what you're saying. Like people see the shooting and they think but like a lot of times, especially recently, when we're looking at a lot of these people and you're reading the stuff they're talking about, they're pretty much saying like like I said, the school shooting thing with this guy, I don't really know. Like some of the mass shooters that we've seen recently, whether it be the guy in New Zealand who killed 50 Muslim people, or the guy in Dillon Root who killed people at Southern A&E, or the guy in El Paso who killed 26 people in a Walmart, there are things that correlate to them outside of video games. Like, hey, Mexicans are at the border in El Paso. They're taking over our country. I'm going to kill them. Hey, the Muslim guy. Somehow we hate Muslims. I hate whatever. White people. I'm going to kill them. That has nothing to do with the game. That's why I say I believe more that people can get radicalized on these sites, 8chan, 4chan, whoever you follow. Just go on HBO Max and watch the Q documentary. Look, you'll see people who are regular, everyday Americans get sucked into conspiracy theories or get sucked into something like QAnon, and they're lost. They're done. Like they went to the rabbit hole. That's what they believe. They thought JFK was coming back from the dead. We literally had people come to Dallas and say that JFK Jr. was coming back from the dead to be Donald Trump's vice president in 2024. That's why I feel like it's more of like whatever social media is. Like, I feel like that would influence people more than like the video game. Because we actually see them telling us what's influenced them, what's their motive. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think that that's more plausible to me than the video game argument. I'm not saying kids ain't going whatever because of video games, but I think if there's a percentage in their brain, it's probably like the smallest percentage.
What was an excuse before video games? There was like, what was an excuse when the school shooting back in the day? Like, what's an excuse when game violence before video games came out? What's an excuse when people go to war before? Like these things are human nature when we're not at our best. And there's been examples of that for millenniums. Yeah. So to blame some things that just came into society recently for these problems is kind of crazy. Because these problems stem from racism. These problems stem from religious hate that's been Muslim versus Christians or Jews. Different culture. Like these things have been stemming for millenniums or hundreds of years. So a millennium is 100.
I don't know. A decade or no, centuries. There you go, centuries.
Because millenniums is like
that's like 1,000 years.
That's human nature. But centuries is more like like 400 or 500 year battles, which these things are happening. Like that's how long these people have been fighting for. So to act like a video game is the reason for it, I think it's because of people take it out of context. But I would blame the Bible and religious concepts that people take out of context more than any other thing, talking about a video game or something like that. And that's just me being 100%.
Yeah.
And that's not me saying these things are bad.
Maybe with Flying Low's point, maybe I'm conflating the two different types of mass shooters. Maybe you're just strictly focusing on school shooters, and I'm more talking about actual devoted ideological shooters. Like there's a difference. Like I said, the guy who shot at all the Muslims, that he live streamed that on Facebook, and the same guy from whatever what it was where he just shoots people at the in Buffalo. Those like ideologically driven. Like black people or Muslim people or whatever. Even the guy that went to the Jewish synagogue, even the Asian guy who they say was a Chinese immigrant last week with the Buffalo thing, who went to a Taiwanese church and shot some people.
Suicide bombers and all type of shit, bro. Y'all are missing a
Yeah,
bigger point
but
here.
no, I think it's. I think he's just talking about school shooters. But even with school shooters,
But they all the
I don't even.
same.
I don't
They
even.
all
I don't even
correlate.
think it's. I mean, I think they're. What the thing is, they're different is because most times when we see school shooters, it's never like a. We never hear it being like a race thing. It's always a. Oh, he was depressed thing, or oh, he was a loner thing.
What? That's maybe in the mainstream media. Black people always when you call a Churchill, when we like almost the gay one in Florida, there's always a stint of some type of
No,
hatred.
there's a ideological shooters are different than school shooters. Like the nightclub, that's not a school shooter. That's just a mass shooter. I'm saying like there's when we think of a school shooter, like this guy who just killed all these kids, right? We don't see. It's not like an element of a race thing. We don't know that yet. Like maybe he hates Hispanic people. He's Hispanic. I don't know, right? But even like the guy who shot the people in Parkland, we never hear like he hates whatever. It's just like I'm depressed. I hate my fucking life. I'm going to kill my classmates. But when we think outside of that, of course, like the guy who killed people in the church, oh, they black people. Fuck them. Oh, the guys in the nightclub who killed 50 people, fuck them. They're gay. Now, the guy who shot the people at the country music festival, I don't know what that was. I don't know what his reasoning for shooting 250, 400 people. I don't know what that was.
I agree with you, but a lot of times these people are still caught up in some echo chamber of like they have some type of hate towards society. Like what? Even if they don't hate a specific group, they hate society and they want to be a rebel to society. They want to be that. So that whatever that
like an anarchist or whatever.
Yeah.
They think they're like a soldier of truth or whatever. Like they think they're something.
They're changing the world with their actions, and maybe more people will be brave like them. So it may not be a direct hate towards a certain color like they were used to, but there's still some form of hate that they've been like whatever programmed to. But I want the Headgainer said, but the logic doesn't stop you from judging people via social media, and that's new. What do you call racism? That's one of the worst judgments that people could have did. They said we wasn't human. That is judgment, my guy. That happened before social media. And what about the Jews? They're animals. That's what German said. That's judgment that led to direct actions and genocide. Like social media only amplifies or shows our some of our natures. I'm not gonna just make it seem like humans are just complete shit, but our work, like it shows our good natures and our bad. But it's nothing new under the sun. It's not new. Like I think a lot of people get recency biased or get caught up in this era is worse or better. Like all people do from different generations. Oh, our generation was the best, or our generation was, you know.
So y'all really think that video games are you saying that's just like how big? Like okay, let me ask this question. Besides the depression, self-hatred, self-loathing, my life sucks, I've been slighted, what percentage do you attribute the video game to it? Are you saying like he played Call of Duty, so like 10% of his mindset was, hey, I play Call of Duty, so I'm gonna kill people, I'm used to the carnage, I'm used to the violence? Like what percentage is the influence of a video game? Because like I said, separating the school shooter with the ideological shooters, I would say theirs is like 95% driven off of their own personal beliefs on why they do what they do. Then like video games,
you can't
rap music or whatever the fuck people say that people do these things for.
To amplify your point and what I said earlier, you think it's them constantly waking up every day playing the game is like amplifying these thoughts in them to want to go do these things? Like no, it's just not that deep. Like maybe it gives them the urge of like being less empathetic or less like emotional to killing. Maybe it lets that down, but to actually say it's going to invoke the rage and the motivation, like because everything has to have a motive, and to say the game does that on a daily basis is kind of weird. And then when you bring like games like Call of Duty or Fortnite, nigga, you get shot back on those games. He went to go do some shit that they can't defend themselves. You go on Grand Theft Auto and you shoot, you get 5 stars. Like there's consequences to these games when you go do these things. It's not like there's just, oh, let's go kill people. Like it just don't add up. Like on Call of Duty, you try to shoot somebody, they're gonna shoot back at your ass. Like that's not going to kill a bunch of vulnerable people that's defenseless, let alone kids. Like, I'm not about to say video games encourage that. There's too many statistics that say all types of video games amplify the mind and help people become more creative than it suggests otherwise. I'm sorry. There's
Yeah.
no real data that could ever back that. It's like saying marijuana makes black people want to rape white people. Like, that's what like that's almost one of the equivalents, and that's like one of those old political talking points that people used to have that want to try to ban shit. Like, it's just not, it's not really based in facts at all.
And as far as the word incel, like, is anybody who's just like alone, like, what is, like, do you have to be a self-proclaimed incel, or do you have to be like
Involuntary.
I know what it means. I know what it means, but like, we're just throwing the word around. Like, oh, these people are incels. Is every school shooter incel, or are they like just a? I mean, is incel just a weird kid at school? Like, is that what it is now?
I think the incel new word is their like goth. Like, that's their version of
I was
calling
like,
it. I think that's what we would call gothic, because that's what we kind of were the joke back in the day, like the gothic nerd that get picked on. That's what we kind of would have used, I think, back in the day. So
yeah.
I just like to be honest and say, even then, that was probably a reach.
Yeah.
Just like I think to say that all like all dudes that don't have sex, especially at that age, like maybe if he was like 30, 40 and he still didn't have sex.
There was a stat that got put out though that 80% of school shooters have been known to, and this just by searching through their social media, searching through their life, to have expounded hateful, rhetoric towards women, and also a lot of times the first person they kill is either a woman, like this guy, like I killed my grandma, or you see something like the guy in Sandy Hook, he killed his mama first, and then he went like they from their statistics they're showing 80% do have some kind of issue with women in today's society. I don't know, about the. I would like if that. I would say that, but still, even that to me would be more of a. It could be brought on by the ideological thing more than the video game thing. That's my point. Pain is my point with the whole like argument is like I feel fuck. I've been saying the word a million times. Now I can't even say it. Ideology would be more of a factor than video games. That's all I'm saying.
So
and,
the video game. Oh, my bad.
And we could just see that in society that. Because that's not like the video game thing is like I don't think statistically you can really prove that, but we've seen throughout history that words invoke actions in people more than anything. That's why they're trying to shut down speech. That's why they don't want people speaking. That's why they're scared of Donald Trump's. Hitler was able to convince millions of people to think that hey, the Jews are ruining your life. Hey, they deserve to die. That's ideology. That's way more powerful to me than a video game or whatever.
I want to answer yours, and then we can both answer flying low if we want to respond to that. But to respond to what you said about the incels being, they have hateful rhetoric towards certain people. Like, there's a statistic. I would believe that, but I would ask how far back that history goes, because incels has always been a thing. What is the history on incels in the past our generation? I would want to know that, because my next point is like I was watching a movie like Chronicles, and someone pointed out to me how this was an incel movie. It was a dude that got superpowers and he was a nerd and he ended up raging out and taking it out on people. And I was like, damn, I did not realize that, because it doesn't resonate to me on that aspect. I'm thinking on Michael B. Jordan or some shit anyways. Like, I'm not looking at it like that. So when they said it, I was like, wait, that I could not unsee that. I was like, damn, they literally did make a movie for that person, because I never understood why he spazzed out like that. I never liked the ending to that movie, but I was like, it still was a good ass movie. But when somebody pointed it out, it was so clear to see. So there's other movies that's almost like coddles or panders to that idea, and then it also kind of implants on or emboldens a negative stereotype inside of them. Instead of when you watch the Facebook movie with Mark Zuckerberg and how he would technically be considered an incel. Personality wise,
okay.
But he still had women, and he still was creative, and he still was able to figure some shit out. But I think it's too more often than not we get a lot of these nasty movies that kind of pander to that incel and make them embolden in that. And we don't really talk about it much, but it's movies out there like that. But so I don't know. I maybe incels do have a level of hate, but I'm wondering, is that because there's a new idea out there or programming, or I mean, it is the answer. I don't know. I'm not even gonna act like I don't know. But let's see. Flano said, "There's a healthy mind. What happens when we're talking about a fragile, broken mind? What will violent video games and hateful ideology? The problem is you can't blame the video games because you said what happens to a fragile, broken mind. That means that fragile, broken mind is already the product and the source of what they're going to do. That's the reason that they got motivated to do that. You can't blame the video games. You're already pointing out the real root of things. So that would be my direct answer to that. Like the broken mind, because when you talk about let's go into what that implicates. A broken mind implicates being easily manipulated, or already being programmed, or already being toxic. So anything they do in life, of course, like they can interact with people that's going to amplify their toxic behavior because they're toxic. So when they interact with somebody, it's going to become more toxic. They can play a video game. It's going to be more toxic. Whatever they do, they're a toxic person. They're broken already. So not every circumstances in life is going to be like that, but a lot of circumstances, or they're going to focus on that more, I should say. They're going to focus on the more toxic shit because they're broken. They're not going to focus on the good things and to motivate them to get out of these situations because they're broken. So that you can't blame the video games. You have to blame the state of their existence. That's the clearest psychology in it. Like,
I think to close out on the video game thing, because he put another thing exactly, so video games have influence. I just don't know how much I believe. Like, I know what Bryson said. He said the broken minds, they can be influenced by games. This
it can be influenced by anything. Like that's
it's like the video game thing to me. It's like it's very like to me it's probably a slim chance that that's what got them to do what they got to do. That's my take on it. Just to summarize my take, I think that's a slim reasoning to why somebody does what they would do as far as a school shooting would go. I think, like we said a lot of times, like these guys are losers. Nobody cares about them. They're overlooked. And in their mind, they may think, fuck the video game. They might be thinking, this is probably my only way to have some type of notoriety, even though albeit a very terrible notoriety, albeit very, not something you want to be known for. But hey, if I'm going to go out being known by the world.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I think. Like because most of these guys probably know they're gonna die, or they're gonna be in some type of gunfire with somebody at some point. Because they ain't gonna just shoot everybody, and everybody's gonna be like letting you shoot them. There's eventually gonna be somebody that's gonna shoot back.
They have similar ideas of a Muslim person that wants to blow themselves
like
up.
Suicide bombers. Like they know. Like I know what I'm on a mission. I know what I'm doing. I just I don't know.
Like you said, Flying Low, you said fragile, broken mind. So that person needs to be coddled. Any stimulus can make that person get set off. So that's like saying, oh, he dropped this food and he shot up the whole school. So you got to blame food for the reason that he did it. Like anything could set him off. He's fragile. I think Wardu.
Okay, I get what he's saying because you and him kind of had the same point as far as if you say it like this, I can see how seeing yourself kill people in the game could like lessen your aptitude or sympathy, empathy for violence. Now that makes like that part makes sense. Like if you just say it like that, I can agree that probably does happen sometimes. But also I believe a lot of these school shooters, if you really let a psychologist sit down with them, they're sociopaths or they're psychopaths. So they have no feelings anyways about the violence regardless. Like most people who go out and kill people, they have no feelings about anything regardless. They have no, like whatever they do, like them killing somebody to them is the same thing as them eating bread. Like there's no feeling, there's no emotion. They do not care. So I don't even think if you was to study these guys as psychopaths, you wouldn't even, the violence in the games would even lessen their inability to violence. They just already never had it. But you've seen a lot of psychopaths. If you just watch serial killer movies or they watch whatever, they have no empathy. Watch Dexter. If you ever watch Dexter, this guy, like, he has no feeling about nothing. I can cut somebody's head off and feel no way about it because they're psychopaths or socio, whatever path you want to go, socio or psycho, they have no feelings. No empathy, no sympathy. They're just out here doing whatever they want to do.
I got two things. I like what Wardu said. That's like saying every corrupt cop, a killer, or a gangster, I guess you could add that in there, are going to say watching the movie Training Day made them do it. Like, it's just unreasonable. It's just more, it speaks to people's nature more than anything. But I low-key forgot my second point, so.
No, that's all right. So I don't know if we want to continue this conversation. I think we had a good dialogue conversation about it because I don't think we're the podcast to really be like, well, you know what? We should have common sense gun reform, and because I don't even know if any of that shit's even gonna work. Like I don't know what to do. My inkling would be mostly that I would think would work would be to heighten the security. Like that's the only really thing I can think of that would potentially, you know, work if we're able to spend millions, billions, trillions of dollars in the military or trillions of dollars on other little things. We see these lobby groups sending millions and billions of dollars. Like I feel like you could put a package together for schools in America and do something. It don't got to be a yearly thing. Now, if we're gonna do like, hey, we're gonna give y'all a yearly stipend for security, cool. But like, if we're gonna say, hey, we're gonna send out $100 billion to enhance the security at every school in
I
America,
mean,
it's
all
gonna
they
create
would.
that one is gonna create jobs because somebody has to do it. Um, and people be glad and happy to be a part of that because who wouldn't want to? Hey, I'm a bulletproof glass company. I'm gonna put these bulletproof. Hey, I'm a lock superior lock company or security whatever. We're gonna put these type of doors on this school. Like they're gonna want to do that.
I mean, goofy as hell. But nah, to make your point even more, like, well, to make it like a joke, kind of like and laugh at how like funny that it hasn't been done. Like they already have like a pipeline of paying schools to like standardized testing and shit like that. So it ain't like you just can't. You can literally send them the money. I was like, how they gonna send each school the money? They literally do it already.
Yeah.
Like so, you already have ways to fund them. I mean, just up the funding because
Yeah,
obviously, I
just
mean,
let the school apply for it. Because I follow this one parent group
oh
in
yeah,
the
like
school district
my
that I live in, and they were saying that they were trying to get past a $700 million budget for the year. So I'm like, you telling me you can't throw in some fucking if you get $700 million, that's not even. I said 40 billion. Give everybody 400,000. Y'all getting 70 million. I know you got to pay teachers. You got to do this. You got to do that. But like, I'm sure people want to. Hey, could we throw in a little bit more money to add some security to the school, add some protection to the school? Like, let's amp it up. I don't think the prop to solve is. Hey, teachers have guns. I don't want to put that responsibility on teachers. Like, hey, when that guy comes in, you better be ready to shoot him. Now, if they want to self-preserve, that's one thing. But like, hey, this is on you. If they run up in here, you need to shoot them. You need to kill. They don't get paid enough
we
to do shit like that.
we got enough cops on traffic duty to put some of them niggas in the schools. That's all I'm gonna
I see
goddamn
plenty
say.
of motherfuckers. I see plenty of motherfuckers I'm driving around. They just sitting there waiting to try to do a speeding ticket, brother. Speeding the last thing we worried about. Go over there to that school and sit outside that motherfucker. Don't come sit over here trying to
No
catch me
fucking
speeding.
bullshit.
You try to catch me
But
speeding, hide, or even the guys that like hide under the little hide under the freeway trying to get your inspection sticker. Man, go to the school, dog. What you over here fucking with me for? Go to the school. You sit your ass in the school. If you got time, sit your ass over here. You need to go be sitting at the school.
no bullshit. And I think like we had a simple hour conversation about the topic, not even really trying to get down to the nitty gritty. I think we could even had a more productive conversation on what could have been done, like just like if we wanted to be political. But
Yeah,
look at some of the solutions we already came up with that are literally make sense, and I think we could allocate the resources to. I also think we could do just like a uh, similar to how like restaurants have like people that come inspect them to make sure they up to par with food standards.
yeah,
if if you want to get money from the government, you need to well, first of all, to be able to get it, because at some schools that's new already gonna be up to code.
yeah,
People will be able to get sent out there, similar to a food inspector, a safety inspector, to see if your school can't meet the standards. If it can't meet the standards, you get approved for the grant.
yeah,
Or there should be a checklist of what the school should have and to make sure it's safe, just like a bank or just like anything else. And I don't think that'd be complicated. There's literally more jobs. There's literally and ensues the more happiness in people because our kids are fucking protected. Like it's so many different things that make sense to like we could easily get this done.
yeah.
That's why I say, oh, but Joe Biden, when is this going to stop? Like I hate these niggas, bro. They ain't shit.
Bro, I'm talking about. I didn't really want to talk about this because I was going to talk about this on my show tomorrow. But like, did you see what Obama said?
Yeah, it makes me think back to George Floyd.
Like, what the fuck? What are we talking about George Floyd for?
If
Like
anything,
to
he could have
me,
just
that felt like a nasty like political tactic too. Okay, we're Democrats. We're the party of we're against school shootings, but also I'm gonna throw in also we're the party of against police brutality. So you're throwing these two big, voting talking points into one thing, and you're just reminding people like, hey, the school shooting that's fucked up. Also, we're trying to get shit done for police and for black people. So it just feels like that's that didn't really feel genuine. Like, hey, I feel sorry for these kids at this school who died. It felt like a political play, and I didn't really like that.
I love that point, bro, because they tie in their points with the things that happen in our trauma, bro. So what makes this all such a psychology mind fuck to me and why I hate it, excuse me, not only is the situation not going to get fixed, they're literally trying to push shit that's going to further help hurt us. As far as taking away our guns, the real reason is not for our fucking safety. They want to make gun laws.
Yeah.
So they pander to us and not really, the problem never get fixed. And not only that, they use these times to try to use our emotions against us and implement things that's going to hurt us. So it's like, it's a double fuck. And I see it and it's so nasty and it makes me like hate the conversation whenever it comes up because I see what they try to do. So it somewhat makes me insensitive because I know what they're trying to do politically, but it's like, oh my God, it's such a psychology.
I was thinking earlier, I was like, I was so conflicted on because like, there's probably a lot of other 18, 19, 20-year-olds that aren't like that buy these ARs that don't do these things. They just buy them for their whatever. It's like, but I was thinking like, should an 18-year-old be able to buy an assault rifle? Like, you can even drink a beer at 18. Should you be able to buy? But that's what I came back to. Like, well, every 18-year-old is not doing mass shootings. Like, you got to look at the statistic of 18-year-olds that are buying them and people that are actually doing shooting. But it's like, I mean, I don't. It's like I don't. Like, is that even an option? Will that even work? Like, and a lot of kids, like I think just recently we've been seeing these kids be buying them for themselves. But a lot of times before, like maybe like before Trump was president, we see school shootings. A lot of those school shootings, I could be wrong, were pretty much caused by kids infiltrating their parents' stash of guns and stealing their shit and killing people. But let's just say, like, I don't know the solution. I'm not gonna say get up here and say we should ban guns because I don't think we should do that because then we see the crime rates going crazy, and I feel like you should be out here protecting yourself at all costs. You know, like because it's you, your family, it's your life. But should 18-year-olds be able to buy? Like, this kid went to a store, be it all legal, you know, whatever he did. Bought 2 assault rifles at one time. Magazine, 500 things of ammunition, like shit that I don't know. It's like I'm conflicted about because I know, like I said, there's so many other 18-year-olds that don't do that. They just do it for, you know, just to have protection, you know, whatever reason they do it. It's legal. But I don't know, man. I just people like to act like they know what to do. They throw out ideas they know aren't really gonna work just because they want to get cheers. But I'm seriously sitting here thinking like, what would actually be
in the South, and I mean I know like in places like that likes to hunt and has that like that culture. Like we have a lot of gun ranges. I know that's why a lot of our young people have them. Like people are gun enthusiasts for hunting and things like that. Some people just love guns because of the power and things like that. I mean, so it's many different reasons why I can understand it. It's like as a man, it's a certain thing of power that you like to have. Like I can understand that, but as a man, a lot of becoming a man is also understanding being responsible and things like this. And any person that does this is not really a man. They're a bitch, a coward, and they shouldn't really be compared to somebody that's a stand-up, respectable person because they would never do something like that.
I'm just thinking, like, bro, think about all the shit you got to do to be able to drive a car. Like, you should got to go through some type of training to get a gun like that. Maybe a little handgun you could buy, but like to get an AR-15, like, bro, if I got to do all these, I got to do a couple months of school to drive a car, and I got to go do a driving test, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. There should be at least something like that. Now, like I said, that's not saying it's going to stop mass shooters because a motherfucker could just go through that process and pass and then just go to school and start killing people. So not to say that it won't do that, but it just feels like there should be more, you know, obstacles than just, hey, I want that right there. Appreciate it. Here's $5 or however much they cost. I'm out the door. Now, I'm talking about for like, I don't know.
I get what you're saying, but I think it speaks to like we'll never have a perfect society. It'll always be some way somehow that this is going to happen. Like I just, unless humans just magically prove me wrong, but I just don't see it happening. There'll always be something like this.
And when you hear politicians say we're going to take away guns, like just know that they're just selling you. I don't even know the metaphor, the whatever the fuck for. They're just selling you a dream. Like that's not going to happen. Like I said, we see in other countries there's no mass shootings because obviously they don't have guns. But to think that now all these Americans that have guns, you're gonna just go around and take all their guns, like, and they're just gonna give it up willingly, like, That's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
And I mean, there's other places that don't have guns, and some of their civilians are being monopolized because there's fucking war tyrants and all type of shit. So like, and I wouldn't be ready to go live over there either. Like, oh, you can talk about New Zealand and some places that may be cool, but
No,
there's a lot
who?
of places. I think that not New Zealand. He said one of
No,
the
why? What are you calling it?
New Zealand.
New Zealand?
New
He
Zealand.
put England
New
and New
Zealand.
Zealand. New
New Zen.
Zealand.
New Zen.
New
Zenland.
Zealand.
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 Oh, okay, New Zealand.
New Zealand. Then he made a whole new country.
No, how you say it?
New Zealand.
Okay, I see what that
It's
is.
like, there's Mexico and New Mexico. There's England and there's New Zealand.
New Zealand. I said Zingland. I just added a G.
I know you good, but it just
Oh,
sounds like England.
I ain't say New England, nigga. Like you made it feel like I said New England,
Well,
nigga.
there is
Like,
a New England. Actually, there is a New England. I think it's in America, but I don't know New Zealand. That was funny. But anyways,
Iceland, whatever he said, New safest, New Zealand. Okay, I see what you said. Yeah, I fucked that up. Had to see the word. That's hilarious. But yeah, those are a few places that, of course, they're peaceful. Government's not really fucking over them, but are they really a melting pot of different cultures? If it was, would they have the same results? Would there be racism? Would there be, you know what I mean? So, and then there's like places like maybe Africa, they may not have guns, or maybe places like in China and shit, but you got to deal with the
well, we can't
mafia.
even like Wardu brought up New Zealand. I mean, like I'm sure they have the lower thing, but that's where the Christchurch shooting. That's where the shooting was. Where I said he live streamed it on Facebook and killed 50 Muslim people at the church. Like they're I mean that's their big one. That's their only one. Like I mean, obviously we have a lot more, but I mean they got somebody was felt emboldened enough to go out there and commit a crime, especially that like killing 50 people. That's like that's a level, man. That's kind of wild.
You think they'd be literally trying to like break records?
I don't know what the fuck they'd be doing, honestly. I think they just kill as many people as they can, or until they run out of ammo, or until the cops run down on them. I don't.
No.
I never.
Like before, do you think they go into it like with a plan to like try to top somebody else's?
I'm
Maybe
sure. I'm sure
before
these. I'm sure they have some type of ego, like the white guy who was in Buffalo. Like I'm sure he studied because he even wrote all these mass shooters' names on his gun. Like the guy from New Zealand, he had his name on the gun. Dylan Ruth, the guy who shot the people at the church in South Carolina, he had their name on the gun. I'm sure you've seen okay, whatever the fuck his name is in Christchurch, he was able to kill 50. Dylan Ruth was able to kill 8. I need to get somewhere. Like I'm sure they have like some type of I wouldn't be surprised. Because if you read the manifesto for the guy in Buffalo, he said, I'm going to go in the grocery store and kill all the black people I can find. And then hopefully I'm be able to get to my car. And as I'm driving down the street, any black person I see then, I'm going to shoot them as well with my handgun. So he was like willing just to, on some real GTA shit, like just kill whoever he sees as black. So
he was trying to put a cherry on top.
yeah.
But just you mentioned GTA, and I know we was talking about video games, but respectfully, where did they get that shit from? They made that shit from real life. Like that shit was already happening. Drive-bys and shit like that. CIA doing drive-bys, black people doing drive-bys. That was already happening. So when they put that in the game,
yeah, man. I just I don't know. I mean, it's election season. They love it. They get to go out there, bang on their drums, and blame this side, and this side says, "Well, no, we're not doing this to do that." I don't get why they just don't like for the universal background check thing. I don't like. I said, it probably won't help too much. It may make things a little bit harder for people who actually had red flags. Like I said, the guy in Buffalo to get a gun and be able to do what he does. But he seemed like he was determined. He was going to find a way to do something. He had a whole manifesto. He hated black people so much. He was going to find something to do. But for Republicans, why not just be like, you know what, fuck it. They keep blaming us. Let's pass this. And then when something does happen again, they can't really say shit to us. Like, what can you say after that? Because if y'all just keep saying Republicans won't pass universal background checks, okay, let's pass it. And when that plan doesn't work, then what? You know what I'm saying? So I just don't.
That politics shit is all baffled. Like they don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I feel like it's either for them trying to gain public favor or them trying to get new sponsors. Because the Republicans are just what they say, NRA, lobbyist or whatever like that. So
Yeah,
whatever. Like we know how this shit go. I'm over the politics shit.
yeah,
Like they don't get my respect at all.
yeah.
But speaking of kids,
All right, here we go.
how you feel about Sukiana getting
I
down on a
just,
little
I
boy?
just, I just think she is like the poster child for what you don't want your daughter to be. The poster child of how you as a woman would not want to be viewed. I don't understand why someone like her is so celebrated. Someone like her is even like around. Like that's just like she just it's just like even beside like the video in total. Like even besides her twerking on the kid, that like who would want to be like that? Who would want to represent that? Now I'm not trying to disparage nobody that live in the hood and live that life, but like realistically, who would want to live like that? The way she promotes herself, the way they're doing all that with the baby strollers. Even I seen the video another girl made. I don't know who this other girl is. They had a pregnant chick that was like on cars. So it's like, what are we like? What do we? You can't. And then you like want respect. It just don't make no. I just don't get that. How do you want respect like that?
Yeah,
Who would respect it? In what culture will respect it? Nobody across the world, black, white, Asian, who would I don't know. Nobody would respect that shit.
of
I
class. No one of class will
like,
respect
bro.
that. And I just think she's a product of you're a woman, so we're gonna lift you up.
You do
Woman
whatever the fuck you want to
liberation,
do.
woman liberation. So I think she slid in there because she's one of those talentless. I'm gonna just like talk about the main three topics that a woman could talk about, and it's not really gonna be creative. And she got in there, and I don't think she's really gonna get any bigger. So she got to do stuff like this. I think she probably did this on purpose because she knew it'll get hate. If we're
Yeah.
really being honest, so she knew it'll get buzzed. But I mean, I've seen some videos of her. Um, uh, Wardo said sold, but it made me think of something about how she even said personally she felt like she sold herself to the devil or sold herself off. Like she's not a woman that's lived the greatest life. I think she's what Cardi
She's
B.
like she's like a
She's
female
a
version of Boot Gang. Like she has to one up herself over and over and over again.
that that's
She has to ratchet it up to the next level every single time.
that's true. But I think she's what Cardi B would be if she didn't have talent to a certain degree because she comes from that same lane. She comes from that same ilk, kind of being on those TV shows or whatever, trying to rap. You know how all of them women, their rap career or have a singing career, some shit like that.
Yeah.
So Cardi B just so happened to have talent and charisma that took her to the next level. But um, what it also kind of speaks to is some of the things that Cardi B technically did and people just kind of dismiss.
Yeah.
For real, because like she real life did these things. Like we talk about how trash rappers be, but we I think a lot of these niggas be playing. She real like gangster nigga,
Yeah.
and niggas just like we love her, and I'm fine with it. I don't care.
Because
I'm not here.
you gotta know. I feel like you gotta know. And even though let me say this, even if you're even if you fuck something popped in my phone and made me even if that's your real character, right? That's really how you act. That's really how you grew up. That's really whatever. I feel like at a certain point, you got to know when to pivot from the character. Even if that's really you, you got to know when to pivot from that character.
Yeah,
Like Cardi B knew when to pivot, but also she got a hit record, so kind of like escalated the hey, you need to pivot. Hey, you're going mainstream. The shit you was doing, hoe never gets cold. I love sucking dick. Whatever you was doing right here in the ratchet shit, the strip club, showing your titties at concerts, you can't do that no more. And she knew, oh, well, okay, now I am this Cardi B. Now, although she got WAP and shit like that, but it's still like, it's in the vein of music. Now she's a mom. She's doing it. Like Sukiana got like 5 kids and she be like, wow, it's like, come on. Come on.
yeah, and I would think she's even more thirsty and less talented than Cardi. And like you said, I can kind of just gloss over what Cardi did because at the end of the day, um, I don't think she's explaining the same behavior. So I would think that she kind of learned. I would hope she learned, but that's not up to me. But people like her for whatever reasons. But I think she did. She actually has some talent to people to like her for. So yeah, is she perfect? No. Most of the people that come from our culture that make it to be famous perfect? No. So I can't hold her to this high standard and not hold other people to that standard. Um, at least when they have the talent. But if she ain't had a talent like Sukiana, bro, it's like, bro, this shit is so trash. There's no reason, there's no purpose, there's no class, there's no nothing. Like it's not even entertainment. Even her like decent songs are just. But she got something called Wolf Pussy. Like, come on, bro. Like,
They're not, like, it's not even like that. Like even
she's
to get
so
behind,
horrible, bro.
it's no anthem. It's no like, oh my god, it's like
There's no
it's just
personality. It's
trash.
nothing.
It's just like, why is this being promoted?
Like, and that's one thing I can acknowledge. Like Cardi B, like once again, well, a lot of these people, bro, you fall in love with the personality sometimes more than the music, and that's for sure what happened with Cardi. People loved her. I don't give a fuck. Shameless, like bold personality. Uh, and as she even got older, how she talk about certain topics, they love that about Cardi. So it showed character. It showed character, or like not character, like as far as having like a good character, but it showed like some type of persona. It showed like a brand that you could get behind, like you said.
Yeah. And Masukiana is like, that's not a brand that's gonna take off. And like maybe at one point she could have like I feel like there was a point where she was like bubbling up. Not saying she would have been a superstar like Cardi or whatever. I feel like she could have tried to pivot maybe more to like a personality. Like certain people don't need to be musicians. Maybe she could have been successful doing maybe like a sex podcast. She would have pivoted, tone it down a little bit, still been herself, and then interview people about sex. That could have probably worked out for her. But the rapper lane, that's not gonna be. That's not gonna. It's not. Now she's probably making money. Y'all niggas hating. I'm still making 5,000. You may be making some money, but like, how long is that realistically gonna last?
Especially when you said she got to keep one upping herself.
Yeah, like how long is that gonna last?
And not in a way that what she did before was already like valuable. Like
And when you
everybody, every
oh my bad, you good?
everybody got to one up themselves technically in the
Yeah.
game, like to be better. So, but at least they had some shit that's actually memorable or worth being valuable, or whatever.
Yeah, but at least like me trying to one up my podcast is today I need to be more informed. I need to be more eloquent with the way I speak. I need to be more, I need to be more, engaging. Like it ain't like I gotta dump shit on my head today, or I gotta do some other like stupid ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a point and a purpose to what I'm trying to do. She's just, I don't know. Even like her posting a video on OnlyFans that went viral on Twitter where she was sucking dick and then she like threw up everywhere. It's like, do you want to be seen that way? Like, why do you want to be seen that way? You never see that video on Twitter? Yeah, it was disgusting. It's like she was sucking dick and then she threw up all over nigga dick. Like why do you want to be seen in that light? Why do you want to be known for something like that? Like it's not cute. Like I don't know if Instagram made it where, oh my gosh, she's so funny. Like that's not funny. Who would want to be around somebody like that? And she probably goes home and she probably doesn't even want to. She probably at home really doesn't want to do this shit.
She don't. She said it. I talked about this before. She don't. But I think the sad part is like she's technically been sponsored by certain platforms.
Yeah.
She was on Apple Music with Cardi B.
She was on a little round table they had.
She was on a few other things. So like her brand has been sponsored, and that's the only reason she maintains relevancy. Because I truly don't think people care for her, but every time she gets a little relevancy, some people can relate, of classless or just don't give a fuck about having music taste or whatever. Like I can understand why some people may listen to it, but I think it keeps that little group around. But I think most people hate her more than she even have like a solid fan base. But I truly think certain brands and platforms keep her around for whatever reason. And I think that's, like I said, the only reason she's relevant still, because it makes no other sense.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
Wardy said sometimes I don't want to laugh because maybe it was some sexual assault that she went through at a younger age. Maybe that enables her to keep doing it. I mean, I'm sure if we interviewed her, she would probably have some stories. I'm sure she shows the prototypical signs of it. And if she didn't have nothing, that I'll be real curious to what makes her act that way. But
oh no, we ain't trying to send her nowhere. That ain't. Hey man, once she for the streets,
she don't want to be saved. What J. Cole say?
But
Celtics beat Game 5. Okay.
Hey, I got another one for you.
What's up?
I feel like you should play the video though to give more context. But speaking of unclassiness and how it can be distasteful and honestly unattractive, we get the complete opposite in this lady that made, I guess, like a TikTok or something recently, and
Yeah.
she kind of embodied what most men would think is, what somewhat attractive. I wouldn't say everything she said is just like, oh my god, like I need her in my life right now, but I think it's a healthy attitude to it's a healthy like idea versus what we usually get as saying I don't have to do shit for a man, I am the table type shit.
Yeah.
I think it's more realistic.
Let's play.
If I'm being honest.
I'm not gonna play the video on screen, but I'll play the audio. Let me know if y'all can hear it. Man, why I can't play the video now? You sent me the damn video.
You want me to send in a message?
Oh, I should delete it.
Hold on.
Yeah, I think I deleted it. But yeah, I saw this video and I was like, oh, people are gonna kill her. People are gonna get on her ass. I already know when I saw the video.
I'm gonna take a little while to video, but
Let me see if I can find. I know it's a TikTok.
I think it's just reflective of what the red pill or Kevin Samuels has been kind of speaking on. And I even talked about this before, saying that your woman should work for you
Yeah.
as kind of like
And I
your
was like, that's
second.
wild.
But when you really think about it, is it?
All right, here go the video right here.
When you really think about it, is it? Coming from a woman, it don't sound crazy. That's what the funny part is. It's low.
It's low.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's the highest. Let me go.
Just put it up to the mic, maybe. 'Cause I can't hear it.
Okay, Allie, show me your ring. Oh, here. Now, tell me what you do for a living. Oh, I love my husband. And how did you get that awesome job? Well, I became a better human being, and I became feminine and also shocking, submissive. So that was the secret. So, what are your tips to women that want to be a housewife? To embrace it. It's an actual job. You just can't get it in the public or private sector. Like you need a man to hire you for it, but that's okay. Because if you think about it, you submit to your boss who makes you clean stupid shelves at your retail job, right? Like, wouldn't it be better if you were cleaning your own shelves at home? You know what I mean? And your boss wants to sleep with you in a good way. In a good way.
That shit was actually funny.
And where do you meet these men? Well, I think
And this shit is smart.
work for the men that they want to pursue. I know that sounds crazy, but it's really easy. So if you think about it, like you want a lawyer, right? So then you should be a paralegal, or if you want a dentist, then you should be a dental hygienist. But these are considered, I guess, high value status professions. But I think that's a really good model that not enough women utilize, because women will bully the woman who is the secretary that married the doctor. Okay, but who has the last laugh? Like her in her McMansion with her husband who's high and the babies. Like that's who has the last laugh.
So even for the thing that I found, the only reason I found this is because I saw that someone quote tweeted. And it was like the girl who used to be on the thing with Joe Budden, the Scotty Beam girl. She quote tweeted like, "Dressed from Quakers R Us and giving bad advice, thoughts and prayers." Like, how is that bad? I don't know. Like, should we allow like Sukiana to be the advice to how to get a man to keep a man? Like, why is it? I don't understand what her saying that is. You know,
it makes all the sense because like even from the working, like she's thinking about what a man relates to and what he wants, and you already know it. Like the thing is, you already know what you're gonna get from a lifestyle if you get the man that you want. Like that's already a given. So you ain't really gotta talk about that. So now your job is to figure out how to get him to like you and be attracted to you and resonate and have a deep relationship. Um, and when you like in the same field as him, like y'all gonna relate, y'all gonna be able to talk about the same thing. It's gonna hit. Like that's the same like if you and your girl like to both play the game, like it's gonna hit because you're like, damn, like it's like she ain't gonna be mad at me playing the game because we playing it together. Or y'all both like to watch podcasts, so y'all ain't gotta fight over like what we like listening to or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like when y'all relate, it makes the relationship flow a lot better. So it made 100% sense. And then like for when I used to talk about your girl working for you, it's like essentially, like, you would want your whole family to work for you. And then to answer, would I hire my girl flying low? Like, if whenever I am able to, yes, I will. Like, I will put in a position to do that. Why wouldn't I? Like, that's a common sense. Like, what's that word when you talk about you hire your family or people that's close to you or whatever?
Nepotism.
Nepotism. What do you like? What did you do, different? Like, you had a job and it had openings. You put your girl on.
Yeah.
Like, like if you get big enough and you do some shit, nigga, what you gonna do? Put your girl on. Like, but it's all about how you say shit. And to me, that's the biggest thing. That's how people complain, but it's so like
I
it's
like
so
what she
hard.
said. I like what she said. You'll go to work and have a person tell you what to do all day. You'll hate your job listening, but when you get home, it's like, fuck you, I ain't listening to you. And I think it gets conflated because people think it means like when they hear submissive, they think like, oh, you got to be a slave or you got to be a this or you got to be a that. It's like that's not necessarily the thing because like you can still be submissive and still have input in the home. I think a lot of people don't see a lot of successful, healthy relationships, and they just assume that that's what that means. Like, oh, you got to be a slave to this person, or you have to bow down to their knees and kiss their feet and do this and do that. And I don't even necessarily think that's what it means when you got to be submissive to your husband.
Let this statistic stand out for you guys. Women make less than a man, but spend the majority of the money. But where do y'all think they get that money from? The maybe is it the man that they have no power from, that they don't have no say in? The fuck out of here! Like, it just go to show us a lot of this like bullshit feminism talk. Like, of course y'all have say. Like, if a man loves you, a lot of times he does everything he can to make you happy, to protect you. Like, when a man, when they say happy wife, happy life, I know it gets taken out of context and niggas will go too far and start simping. But let's be real, a man actually feels enjoyment in making his girl happy. Can you do that all the time or 24/7? No, you'll go crazy.
Yeah.
But we like to see our girl happy. We like to see our kids happy. We like to make our friends happy. We like to like. So I to think that we're not gonna listen to someone we love and think that was the majority of how men was operating before women could vote. Like, even when I talk about that, like, yeah, women couldn't go place the ballot, but you don't think they didn't say anything if they knew about politics or if they even cared about it? Because I mean, some women probably wouldn't even give a fuck, but
Yeah.
the woman that did, because that wasn't even really a woman's place to even care about shit like that. But
And most women in today's society, if you look at the things, they most likely vote whatever their husband votes, regardless. You're not going to see too many households where it's like, I went in there and I voted for Trump. Well, I went in there and voted for Biden. Like, you don't really see that too often. They pretty much going to follow whatever their husband do or say. Like, especially when it comes to like politics and shit of that nature. Like, yeah, I'm not sitting here saying women should have had a voice and shouldn't be allowed to voice their opinions. Of course, you should be allowed to vote. And if you do differ from your husband, that's fine too. You guys have a different opinion on politics and policies, whatever like that. But it's just weird to attack somebody for just saying like, hey, this is how I got my husband. I became submissive. I did what the old fashioned women did back in the day. My husband come home, like, shit's good, shit's all right. Like, why it's just weird on social media. Like, why are good things on social media typically demonified and the negative shit amplified? We amplified hot girl summer, be a hoe, suck dick, do this, go live your life, go have fun. But that isn't demonized, but this is demonized. Tell me where those things make sense.
And then that lifestyle leads y'all to being like,
and a lot of even the Scotty Beam, we're like, she's in a happy committed relationship. What is she mad for? Yo, dude probably gonna propose to you. Y'all probably gonna get married. You probably give him ease within his life. Like, why are we shitting on this girl for saying that? Y'all want to shit on this girl for saying, hey, I just sucked 30 dicks last week. Y'all, yes, queen, suck them dicks. Like, I don't understand that. Don't make no sense.
Yeah, happy man, happy household. I agree with that. Like, I think everyone's job is to be making sure that everyone's taken care of. I mean, you're meant to protect and look over your wife and kids, and I think your wife is meant to look over you and make sure that you're healthy, make sure that you fed, and especially during stressful times, making sure that you good. Like, taking care of your needs. Like, I don't just like how you take care of theirs in their lifestyle. Like, I don't get how it doesn't go both ways. Now, it happens and it comes in different ways, but both people have to
I
be
think
taken
people
care
just
of.
look at shit to the
Common sense.
extreme. It's like, bro, we're not like marriage isn't what you see, and I'm not putting no, I mean, I guess it is a stereotype on those type of people. Not even necessarily Muslim people in America, but like when you think of like the Taliban and how they want to treat women and control women, like y'all act like that's how marriage is in America today. Is some tyrannical. I say this, you do that. I slap you in the mouth if you talk back. Like that's not what
And
traditional or
they
marriage in
think
America even is today. Like, so I don't know why. Like, this is what we do in America too. We see a certain situation and we always pick the most negative outcome to blanket what that situation is, like what marriage is, or what even the like I said with the word submissive, like that automatically means I bend to my husband's every will, I kiss his feet, I don't ever talk back, I don't ever expound my opinion. That's not what that means. It's like just be the like I was watching an interview today. It was on No Jumper. It was a guy named like Westside Boogie, right? And they brought on this chick that he used to date, and he was like, I liked her. She was cool, but she wanted to be the nigga. She was like, I am the nigga. It's like nobody wants to be with that person. What do you mean you the nigga? You're not. You're the woman. Be the female. Be like I wanna
big
cater to
energy.
you. I want to take you out to dinner. Like you said, I want you to feel good. I want you to be happy. There ain't a one-sided thing. There's on the ship. Yeah, there's a captain on the ship, but there's also a co-captain. The co-captain is just as important as the captain. I feed off you, you feed off me. That's why there's two motherfuckers in that cockpit flying that airplane. Yeah, there's a captain, but there's also a co-captain making sure that shit get through the damn storm. So it ain't like your part is insignificant, your role is whatever. So I just don't get the social media, the hate
They
for
helping
women that
out.
speak like this.
They helping with the That's the pilot shit is a perfect shit because they helping fly. They helping with our navigation. Yeah, the main person doing the message steering when they taking care of all the small shit. But if all that small shit not getting taken care of, the
Then
plane
I
not
can't fly
flying.
the plane.
So and like that's why the no power shit is like it makes no sense. A man knows if he want his household to keep going, his woman needs to be happy. So why wouldn't a woman think the same thing? If she want a successful and productive and abundant household, why wouldn't she think her man needs to be happy? Like it's common sense thinking, but I think it goes to a lot of that feminist uh, and what you call Willie Lynch rhetoric that's infiltrated our community for the last like 50 years because this haven't been here for long.
Yeah,
1975, we was doing just fine.
yeah,
So I think the Willie Lynch shit ended up being more prosperous or more successful later on with the divide and conquer shit and what you talk about self and government assistance and all that shit coming in like the late 70s and 80s and shit like that.
yeah.
So all that kind of a part of why these women could think like that, but like I said, it makes no sense. And then someone even made this even a funnier comment. All the girls in the city girl movement had a man or have a man now. They probably had a man during the moment. Like
Yeah.
all like it's just it just
Like they're
it
probably not
is.
even they're probably not even hoes. I just run around sucking a million dicks, but they telling you to, and you at attention. Yes, Miss Queen, hot girl summer, ready to like, bro. They ain't doing that.
Mm.
Meg Thee Stallion been with Partisan Fontaine for who knows? I don't know how many months now. But she got y'all. Hotties, get ready. We're about to have a crazy summer. Turn up, turn up. Don't give a fuck what these niggas think, and run their ass while she Partisan. I love you. She at home. And y'all here
All,
running them up. Don't make no
sucking this
damn
nigga
sense.
dick in the club.
It's like don't make no damn sense.
You know, you know how sad she looked. Like that shit looked embarrassing. Like no one even talks about that shit. Like you said, we glorify the good shit. You remember seeing that when she humping on him in the club and shit like that? Like
When
you
he
were
picked her
supposed.
up, when he picked her up on something, or what you mean?
Yes, you're supposed to be an A-list celebrity or on your way to being A-list celebrity. That's not A-list celebrity behavior. That's like I'm thirsty for attention. Like he's carrying you upstairs. Like that shit was such an ass. Like if we really talking about like the look of that, but so many women they can't do no wrong. But that shit was it was really nasty to me, honestly.
I think that's just the thing. It's just like I don't get how like this girl gets shit on, but like I said, a girl could get on there. Like, bro, women get on social media. Like I said, this ain't everybody, but I do see it happen. A woman get on there and celebrate that she got an abortion, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, you're the great!" Like she's celebrating I got an abortion. It's like, "Oh my god, you're the greatest in the world!" Like it's like I just don't. I just don't. Like I said, do what you want to do with your body. I don't care, but like I don't understand. Well, even better, more even a better point isn't even necessarily the abortion, but they're like, "Hey, suck as many dicks as you want, fuck as many niggas as you want. It's your body. Do what you want to do, girl. Have a great summer." Yeah, is, but like, hey, you want to find a good husband? You want to get into these rooms? You want to get into these areas? Bitch, you're just stuck in the patriarchy. You want to pick me,
Ooh.
pick me. Like,
So
it's like, okay.
speaking of that, especially in the black community, and you can argue more recently in the white community, can we admit that we've been living in a matriarchy?
A matriarchy.
Yeah.
Uh, for black, I can say black people, yeah. 'Cause most like big mama and this, and they a lot of people have single parent households ran by the mother. So I mean, you can say that, yeah.
It just even if a man's in the household, a lot of times have you seen like you seen Fences?
I haven't watched it. I know like Denzel and Viola Davis, but I haven't actually
Viola,
watched it.
he worked, but she took care of the bills. She took care of other kind of things in a sense, and she kind of ran it to a certain extent. And even when we've had men in our household, we see a lot of times the men in our communities listen to the woman, and even a lot of times her say when it comes to with kids and what she want to do with the kids, whether it's with judges or even in the household. I think a lot of times we go with the woman, even with men. When we say, like I said, we take it out of context, happy wife, happy life. A lot of our black men, even in marriage, go to overextents to make sure their woman is happy and not even argue with him. Like Steve Harvey, he was like, when have a woman been wrong? Like he was asking a dude that was in a situation. He was like, well, sometimes my wife be wrong. He was like, when? And Steve Harvey was like, when could she be wrong? Because he was like, basically, you're a yes man to your woman. So that dynamic happens in our community a lot. And I think that happens in the white community as well. I think that happens just in the Western community in general. But I just think that goes back to, like I said, with the spending shit, like women have a lot more power than they've been saying. And I don't know. I just think it's a delusional thing, especially when you even look in the last like 50 years. Like it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm flying low. I mean, like, yeah, that might be your like anecdotal life. Like, my dad was running the house, and even like what even the term what running the house mean. Like, yeah, you might as a kid. And I don't know, maybe you know now more as you grow older. But like, yeah, as a kid, of course, you probably gonna see your dad's the one making decisions, but you don't know what your mama and daddy was talking about behind closed doors. What your mom was saying, hey, we should do this, hey, we should do that. But it's kind of like what I said. Like when I say my wife is kind of like I would say the leader of the home inside the house, like she with the kids and this and that. But obviously, when we outside the house, when it's like major decision, that's something that I kind of it's like what you said with the co-pilot thing. Like you kind of make sure all the little shit's run. Like I mean, raising kids ain't little shit, but like hey, you make sure all this little shit's running, and then I'm gonna make sure shit's actually fully planned out, put through, executed, and that's how this
The
code.
future and all that type of
Yeah.
shit.
So I feel like what Bryce saying with the thing happens a lot more than we even it happens more often than not.
Especially in the black
My
community.
dad in Dallas, you trying? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Because it's not like like saying that Fences the guy was the woman was like setting up the bills. It's not to make Denzel less of a man. It's just like, hey, I'm delegating this to you. I got other shit. I got like the actual providing the shit that I got to do
He's
and
not
working all
good.
day. Like it's not like that takes away from Denzel's manhood. I don't think. But I mean,
Yeah.
I mean that's what you
He
took from that, I guess.
he wasn't good at finances, and he liked to keep his peace, so he didn't argue, and he let her take care of some of the stressful shit, and that's fine. But
Yeah.
he still was the one of the main cogs in the relationship is bringing the money home consistently. That's why he told us a moment in the sun, a moment in the movie to his son. He was like, not necessarily I don't gotta love you, but I don't gotta say I love you because I mean there's food on the table and
Yeah,
all that.
I've seen that clip go. I've seen that clip go around a lot.
Because I mean, that's essentially what he did. He provided a lifestyle. Was it the greatest? No, I stood by you every moment.
Yeah.
So was it the greatest? No, but it was enough for them to get by and have a loving or typical,
American
maybe
family life.
yeah, less than a little middle class. Maybe kind of check to check week to week. Maybe that's middle class still, but kind of a hard but you making it
Steady
life.
life, steady life.
Yeah.
You ain't going hungry. You ain't. It's like you ain't got more than you need, but you ain't got less than you. You know what I'm saying? It's like you living. You're all right.
Yeah, and I think both of them made that relationship and they grow from their part. And it's like, nah, you can't. unless he absolutely wasn't doing shit, she working, take care of the house, doing all that shit, then that's him calling your dad a scrub. But that's
Yeah.
not what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's just saying that more. That's like he's just saying that your mom had say in the relationship essentially,
Yeah.
and to think that your dad was the only one that.
But like I said, maybe anecdotally in his life, that may be how it was. Maybe the daddy did. Hey, I say this. That's how I go.
But
I'm
that
not saying it doesn't happen, but I mean, most
I,
times I don't feel like that's how it goes.
if he did, I'm pretty sure his dad could have did that like in a good way. But even then, I'm pretty sure behind closed doors, maybe she was just a good wife and didn't argue in front of kids or in front of people. But I'm pretty sure she had her say or whatever. Like that's just how it is. Like in general. But even then, or maybe they were like we talked about how they you most likely vote like your husband and wife because they more likely was alike and aligned. So most of the times the things that he did, she agreed with. So it wasn't much to argue and stuff
There was
like
no
that.
need for confrontation or dispute.
But then we'll just talk about when there was disputes and things like that. I'm sure her opinion was heard. That's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
When there was crossroads, she had some say in those things. That's what I would think. Did he make the final decision? I'm sure, but that's our point is people make it seem like women had no say, women had no power, and women were just slaves. And being a wife, a submissive wife at that, and not a partner, you was just a stepping like a stepping mat or some shit like that, or you was a mop or whatever they call you.
Yeah.
Like the biggest thing I see that with this shit is like the pick me shit. And they talk about how pick me women are nasty. And it's like what? It just goes to show
It's like
how
she's a pick-me woman. Like, yeah, she wants to get, she wants a hut. Like, she wants a hut. Like, I don't know. Like, yes,
and yo ass a pick me.
if that's a pick-me, I get it. Because you either getting picked to be a husband or you getting picked to be a hoe. You getting picked either way. So which one do you get picked for?
Or pick me, yo ass a pick me for a good ass job. Fuck out of here. Like I don't want to hear that shit. Like people have these dumbass like slights and shit that got cool because whatever memes. But some shit always been stupid to me. That's one of them.
man. But I wanted to talk about the Dave Chappelle shit. But I don't give a fuck. It's like the guy said that he's gay and homeless, and he like Dave Chappelle's jokes, so he whatever. Who gives a fuck? What else? Oh, I do want to say this. Cat Williams special was trash. I don't know what happened with Cat, but that shit was not it. He was the first 20 minutes. He was still talking about some chicken wings, a chicken shortage, the chicken wing. I was like, oh my god, yeah, niggas talk about Kevin Hart, but like this downfall to me is way worse than any Kevin Hart downfall. At least Kevin Hart kind of keep it consistent with like the family jokes. The Cat Williams shit was like, I don't know, that shit was not good.
What last said wasn't good from Kevin Hart?
People talk shit about Kevin Hart all the time. He's not that funny. He's not good. Whatever.
That nigga ain't had no downfall. Like
I'm just talking about now that part. I'm talking about people say I like Kevin Hart. Now do I think he's his, but I wouldn't say he's as funny as like obviously the peak Kevin Hart, the laugh at my pain Kevin Hart, whatever the fuck was after that. But like the Cat Williams shit, like this new.
I gotta go back and watch some stand-up shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Now I watched a couple of stand-ups. I've watched every Dave Chappelle one that's come out. I watched the Kevin Hart one where he was in his home. Like it wasn't the funniest, but it was like I see what you're trying to do here. I watched the stand, like I said, the Cat Williams one. I only got through about 20 minutes because I was like, I can't. I was sitting there with Carla. I was like, bro, what the fuck am I watching? Start to watch the Kevin. What the fuck is his name? No, Cat Williams. You look at Cat Williams of old. Look at this new Cat Williams. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I'm about to go back on the stand-up spree. I'll start with that one.
Yeah, and also I watched the Ricky Gervais one. He got a lot of just because I see he was getting a lot of flack from the trans community.
I got no one.
For making his joke. It's called like Supernature. I know people. Well, you're laughing at the it was. I mean, shit was fun. I mean, fuck, I don't know. He talked about Muslim people. He talked about a whole bunch of different. He didn't talk about trans people. He talked about everybody, and the jokes was funny. So like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. People get like you're gonna get mad. Like I was talking about it today on my show. I was like, I released the short clip of it, but I was like, can someone in the community please comment down below? Is there any joke that you deem non-transphobic as far as a joke about trans people? Is there anything that could be joked about? Because to me, it seems like nothing could be joked about. Everything
know
is
that
taken to the hate level. Everything's taken to the you're evil for talking about us in any way, shape, or form level.
if you're not trans and you speak and it's not saying I love trans and I support trans, you're transphobic.
No, I talked about that too. I talked about like there was a point, and like I said, I also think that it's not even most trans people don't even feel this way. I feel like it's like a
Yeah.
small, loud minority, and also people who aren't even trans thinking that they need to speak up for trans to make look like, hey, I'm a good person. I'm speaking up for trans people. When a lot of trans, you see what? Did you see what? Okay, we can talk about that. Did you see what Caitlyn Jenner said?
No.
A trans person. Essentially, they fuck. Where's it at? I was seeing it everywhere. Somebody sent it to me. I don't know if it was Trail the photographer that sent it to me or Miss Fearless or Wardo, maybe. I don't know. Somebody sent it to me. Let me see if I can find it. Or maybe it was Carla that sent it to me. I bet people send me shit all day. Oh, here it is.
So many things on YouTube on kids who have transitioned, and people see this. And it's become, right now, this issue has become so big. Almost every day on the news, there's something about being trans. That kind of bothers me, to be honest with you, for this reason. Being trans is about that much of the population. It is such a small group of people that are actually trans or really suffering with gender dysphoria. And right now, because of the amount of publicity that it's getting, it's like
Bedtime.
everybody thinks they're trans, which is not the case. There's so many things on
So this
YouTube.
is a trans person. No, they hate Caitlyn Jenner because Caitlyn Jenner's a Republican, and they speak. She speaks out against about trans women compete with biological women, so they hate her. She's like a traitor to them. But I said that I feel like that's a sentiment that like it's popular. So it's like, people just hey, that's me.
What's that white boy that you just was saying that he said some nasty stuff about the shooting?
A white boy.
He had an argument with Tim Pool.
Oh, the
Or Tim
Hassan
Pool.
Piker and Temple.
Yeah, so that's Hassan dude. Is essentially the dude that you speak of. A dude named Jimmy went to
The most racist man in America.
town in America in Arkansas, and the dude was trying to tell him, "Oh, you can't, you don't know what racism is. You don't know how to feel racism. You should feel offended. You should think that town was racist because he basically said the town of Harrison wasn't as bad as people were making it out the scene because he got there, he went and got hospitality and shit like that.
Yeah,
so
pretty
the
much
dude,
like, hey, black man, you can't sense it. You're not smart enough to feel it, but I can tell you what's going on with you.
he was
I
trying
can
to
tell
tell
you how you
him.
should feel.
Yeah, he was trying to tell him to be outraged, and that's essentially what I feel like the people that don't like Caitlyn Jenner are like those type of people. It's like you don't know what you're talking about because I think more likely than not, the average trans person would probably agree with that. Like, that they don't want to have athletes that's a man competing with a woman, even if they're trans. You know what I'm trying to say. I might
Yeah,
slaughter
I
that shit.
got you. I got you.
But and I think it's like Patrice O'Neal mentioned this before a long time ago. He was like, "You don't see what you're doing right now. You're making us look hypocritical." Because he was like supporting Al Sharpton. One of these activists was supporting what Al Sharpton said, but then getting mad at what Don Imus had said. And it's like, well, he says shit all the time. He was like, "Is that just acceptable?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, that's acceptable because what we've been through." And then Patrice was like, "You don't see what you're doing. We look hypocritical." And they're like, that don't make us look good as an image. And I think a lot of people that would be trans understand that a lot of shit that these people put out here don't look good for their image. And I think maybe gay people will start to feel that as well because it's like at first I thought this dude that what's the Kardashian, or he's not even a Kardashian. Well, what's his name?
Rob Kardashian.
Oh, he is a Kardashian. So Rob Kardashian, like at first I thought he was like this puppet that basically sold himself to like become this new idol that everyone praised because he got Woman of the Year and shit like that. But it seems like maybe this person, Rob, actually had these feelings in him for whatever reasons and wanted to convert, and they just used him as this person, and they've been using the trans community to put certain things in agendas and stuff like that. And I don't know. It made me re-question a lot of things because it made it seem like he said that these people are just pandering for whatever agenda. I don't know what the agenda is because he said like it's a small percentage. So why are y'all trying to make this issue, or why are y'all trying to convert even. It seemed like he said, everybody's not trans. It's like almost like y'all trying to convert the society into this thing and not just acknowledge what the small, group is. And I think that's what he gets from that. And I don't know. I think that's being done with the gay community too. I think that's being done with the negative aspects of the black community. Shit. And not to correlate the gay and trans as that, but I think they do that with those communities as well. Like they just trying to push a lot of different behaviors that I don't know. I'm gonna leave it there.
Nah,
I kind of put myself in a trap. I ain't gonna lie to you again, counsel. If anybody heard it, I was just like, I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't want to even clarify anymore because
I want you to listen to a little bit of this. Like, this is why I feel like people, they try too hard because it's like him and this guy named, like, I don't know if you ever see like Adam Knows Everything or Adam Does Everything. I don't know. It's something like Adam Does Something, right? This white guy had a TV show. He said that with his son. They were talking about Joe Rogan and trans athletes and this and that. It's like, just listen to this conversation real quick.
Fucking prejudice. Like, what else is it? Like, it's and how you are you can understand why to be on the right side of one and the wrong side of the other. Personally, apart from fucking prejudice. Like, what else is it? Like, it's all an argument for prejudice.
People that have natural advantages, like Michael Phelps, or even like LeBron James. You know what I mean? Like, people that have natural advantages beyond everything else is like, it's still, that's fine, that's cool, that's actually celebrated. But anything else outside of that is unacceptable. I've talked about I've made a comparison to Messi before. Like, Messi had a genetic disability that he overcame by getting HGH and like numerous forms of hormone therapy, and he's one of the best athletes of all time. It's seen as like a story of overcoming like a great struggle, right? Mm-hmm. Great marginalization. And when a trans athlete is like even remotely successful, they're like, no, that's cheating.
Yeah. The thing that I've only come to realize,
they're trying to compare like LeBron being a male and playing with other males being a little bit more athletic, and Michael Phelps maybe has like an extra long foot, so he makes him a better swimmer, but everybody in the pool is still male, to a biological male. Like, that's not, well, they have these advantages, so they don't look at them as bad. They look at them as, it's like, that's your real, like, that's really your argument. Because because LeBron has a little bit more of a physical advantage than other men, and he's a little bit better. But at the end of the day, we're all still men. If I get on D-line and I'm going against a 6'7" offensive tackle and I'm only 6'1", but I'm a little strong, I understand there's a disadvantage in height, but I understand at some point we still maybe could be on a level. Maybe we have the same strength, we have the same nothing. But to compare that, to compare LeBron James's athletic ability or Michael Phelps' athletic ability to a biological male transitioning to a female and competing against biological females, and you're thinking like, oh, well, you should celebrate that the same way you celebrate LeBron playing against other biological men, like.
And
you're just going down a argument. It's like idiocracy. Like, what are you talking about?
Even that argument is stupid because it's not like he's like dominated by leaps and bounds. Like, there's other people that are just as good that compete with him, that could defend him, that could get past him. Like, yeah, he's dominant, but he's not perfect, nigga, just because of that. Like,
and even the argument, like even the trans swimmer, right? Like the trans swimmer, they won that one race that they're really good at, and they lost others. I'm not saying that every trans athlete is going to be the greatest of all time and destroy everybody, but they're still misplacing other biological females. Like I said, the Leah Thomas person got first place, right, in that race. You won that race in an NCAA national championship. That person's second place technically should be the first place female best swimmer in the NCAA.
Yeah.
You took that spot from her. We're all about women empowerment, but we're okay with pushing women out of those. And like I said, I'm not. This is the thing. That's why I hate talking about this shit, because I feel like with this conversation, this thing is like the most like even what Ricky Gervais said, he was like, who would have knew 10 years ago that saying women don't have penises would one day be the thing to get you canceled. He said, you'll never find 10-year-old tweets about that because nobody thought that was ever even something you had to say. But now that like the trans conversation is the most like toxic as far as conversation, like we can't really have a conversation of why Leah Thomas shouldn't have been put in the position against those biological females and take away that first play. Like this person could have been an NCAA national champion.
I think it also speaks to people knowing that it's a popularized topic and using it to like in spite of actual trans people. Because I don't think a trans person, like we said, would agree with this. Like I don't think a trans person would agree that calling a real woman is not a woman. I don't think a trans person would, because why would they convert to trying to be a woman if they don't respect real women? So that don't make sense. I think the typical trans person wouldn't even think like that. But then let's add to this. That person that's not really trans that does the swimming shit. They're just a coward and using being trans to go win a national championship. They're not doing it because they really feel that way. And I think a lot of those people kind of tend to do that in this mainstream thing. Like they're using trans people. They're not actually trans. Like I would question that swimmer. Like only reason he converted because he knew he couldn't win and he had some type of bullshit cowardness.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. Just because like you gotta kind of like play the long game. Like you're only gonna be swimming for like you're gonna so like you to win this now. You're gonna be a woman for the rest of your life. Like I don't know if that's necessarily
because I don't believe that though. I don't believe he's gonna be a woman for the rest of his life. I don't think he cut his dick off. I think he did that for the moment. And I think I've seen weightlifters do that. They'll just, oh, I'm a woman. And they don't even have a wig on or nothing, but they'll let them do it because what can you do? You can't question it. And then they'll win the women's events. Like it's happened in more than just that. He just so happened to put a wig on and shit. But I don't think he's really relates to being a trans person. Like I seriously don't. I think it was a person that seen a shortcut, or because we know people take shortcuts, or a loophole, and they took advantage of that. They took advantage of society's stupidity to push or accept anything, and they took advantage of trans people trying to be liberated and used it in spite. And we seen it with, I'm pretty sure there's a black equivalent to that, where like they shit on us, but then use our shit and sell it or some shit like that. So I think it's more in spite. I think that all goes into, I think the average trans person could think like that and don't like this shit, but it's a part of society pushing a little bit of this chaos and shit like that because they pushing it to kids. They like I don't know.
Yeah. Let me read some of those comments, man. We can get about there. Cat Williams is still top 5. Anything he puts out now doesn't matter. Nigga bash Dave Chappelle for being controversial, but then get mad when his material is too edgy. I think you did like I don't get it. They bash him. They bash him for being controversial, but then get mad when his material is too edgy. Ain't that the same thing?
Controversial because he's edgy.
I would think controversial and edgy are the same thing, but I mean, yeah, Cat Williams is still like top 5. I'm just saying, like his new special is not good. Like he's still, it's just not good. It's like Kendrick putting out To Pimp a Butterfly. It's just not good. But nah, I ain't gonna get into that shit. But yeah, man, that's all we got. We got a good 2 hours in. I appreciate everybody for being in the what was I saying? Yeah, appreciate everybody being here, man. Had a great conversation tonight. Really enjoyed it. Appreciate everybody who was in the chat commentating. Wardu flying low. I seen some other people in there. Tadishi, I don't know, I see your name. Salute to you. I seen somebody, Head Gannon, I think was in there earlier. Yeah, salute to you as well. And salute to Don Terrell for being in there as well. So I think we got 2 things coming up. We got the verses. Don't know when we're gonna do that exactly yet. We got that coming up. I think I don't remember the label. Maybe Interscope versus Atlantic. I think it was something like that. And then also we have the second installment. I think the verses are getting kind of died down. And I know the tier list is kind of old, but I do like the idea of doing tier lists because that's something that's fun and it creates a conversation. So then we'll do the tier list of our of albums. And it'll be like, I think I'll do the tier list. I'll do it numbered. I'll do like, what album, what do you think is, I'll just put like classic is like obviously the top. And I'll do 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do it like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think. I think we'll do it like that. Also, I do want to do a tier list of actors because I was watching. I don't know how I got into this. I was watching like behind the scenes of movies and shit like that, and then I just randomly stumbled upon a clip of Jamie Foxx and Ray Charles just like playing the piano together and singing. I was like, man, that Ray, man, that's a goddamn. Jamie Foxx don't get enough credit, man. I don't know. That's a motherfucker right
I
there.
like the actor one because I've been wanting to do a movie one, but I haven't been able to like think of like one that's like we know we watched all the movies and shit like
Yeah,
that. But I don't think you have to watch all the movies for that one.
yeah.
Cause
Denzel's overrated. I don't think Denzel's overrated. I think Denzel's where he should be. Like if I was to name my favorite actors of all time, who would be my favorite actors of all time?
Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah, he's cool. Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know. People shit on Will Smith, but I like Will Smith, so I say
I'll go
Will
say
Smith.
Will Smith. I'll tell you about
Denzel. I like Jamie Foxx. I do like the catalog. I do like the catalog that Chadwick Boseman was building. I think that was he was all the biopics he did and the movies he did. I think he was building a great catalog as well. Who else did I put in there? I'm trying to think.
Leo DiCaprio in like 3 of my favorite movies, bro. So it's hard. Yeah, Jamie Foxx is probably my top 3. Leo DiCaprio in 3 of my favorite movies. He in Django.
Leo DiCaprio is overrated. What are you talking?
He in Django. He in Revenant, and he in The Wolf of Wall Street. And then he got other.
Bro, he's in Titanic. He's in fucking
The Aviator.
bro, Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, bro. He in too many
bro,
good ass movies that I love, bro. Like Leo DiCaprio is one of my favorites. Keith Stanfield. I like him.
He's cold. The other guy
who's like Childish.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's like TV, but still acting. The other black guy what's the other black guy's name who was in like Get Out, and he's got pretty good roles.
It was just Elba. I like The Rock. The Rock is
I like The Rock. For his roles, he do his thing for his role. Yeah, we can do a tier list for act. We can do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, try to put like the niggas that we know that's like at the back, so we can kind of get like a.
Yeah, so we can get like a range going. Man, I ain't gonna put. All right, what do you think about Will Denzel? What's his name? Yeah, we could. There's people we could throw in there. What's it like? Lawrence Fishburne and the guy with the other guy with the lazy eye. What's the guy with the lazy eye?
Nigga, y'all said Denzel's, bro. This nigga was in the nigga. Remember the Titans, nigga. That nigga don't need to be in nothing else. Get the fuck out of here.
even the guy who's in Remember the Titans. They get the black guy that's in Remember the Titans. That's like the star black athlete. That's the same guy that's in Paid in Full, right? Friday Night, is that the same guy from Paid in Full?
Yeah.
He's an actor that need to be in that. I don't remember his name, but he actor that need to be in them conversations.
Ice Cube.
I mean, as far as
that
great,
nigga got some good movies.
He got some good movies. But like it's levels to the acting thing. You know, I ain't seen him in no movies like like an Denzel or he definitely don't got a Ray. A lot of people don't got a Ray. I guess a lot of people don't got that.
Sidney Poitier, yeah.
But yeah,
there's a lot of motherfucker. Obviously, white people like Jim Carrey. What's that? Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
There's a lot of niggas, bro. I like the acting.
Adam Sandler.
And then we still like there ain't no women with.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about just. I mean, we could do women. Like we could do that too. They have a lot of great actresses as well.
We could do that. We could do that like another song too. Maybe.
I might want to do that one next. That one sound a little bit more fun than the damn.
That hoe got me. That hoe got me going. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm just thinking, like, who could I put in there? I'm trying to think of people.
There's so many people. I ain't mean to say Adam Sandler. I said Adam Sandler. I said
Adam Sandler.
I thought I said Jim Carrey.
He might be a horrible. I mean, I just like his movies. Like he's like the movies like they're cheesy, but I like the movies.
Yeah, he may not be the greatest actor, but he made good movies. Like you can't shit on him.
But even his most recent movies that he been making serious ones, he been like Uncut Gems and shit like that. Like, he has some good shit in there.
Yeah, Sandy Wexler. Like
I like Sandy. I like his Netflix. Some of them are cheesy, but I like them. Al Pacino. Oh yeah, I forgot the old motherfuckers. Jack Nicholson.
Al Pacino. Al Pacino too. Oh, and we put the white people in there too. It's going. I like it.
A lot of tens. Shit.
I like it because I want to see like how good our people.
Oh shit, we forgot Samuel Jackson. God
damn, that nigga got the GOAT legacy. Samuel shit damn near untouchable, bro.
Let me just name out some of his names. We can get about it. But I think we should do this one. This is fun. Robert De Niro, Christian Bale. Obviously, he got the Batmans. Robert Downey Jr. Obviously has Iron Man. Brad Pitt. Johnny Depp. I forgot about Johnny Depp. I gotta throw Johnny in the goddamn mix, man. Keanu Reeves, Bruce Willis, George Clooney, Hugh Jackman, the Wolverine. I don't forget the Wolverine. Like,
it's too many,
yeah, that's a lot of
names.
names.
You gotta have at least 3 classics, bro.
Mark Wahlberg. Jeez. Don Cheadle. Hey, man.
That's tough. We might have to do black only, then white only, and then a mix of both. Like the top, like A and B of the black.
I ain't gonna lie. The reason I can't do women, especially when it comes to white women, I don't know a lot of their names. A lot of them to me like kind of look alike, so I don't know who they are. Like, you know. Yeah, like I don't know a lot of that. Like, I mean, I probably see them in movies, but like I can't. Like I know Viola Davis. Like that's probably if I think of an actress just off my top of my head, her, Halle Berry. Like I can think of them.
Let's do a black one only, then let's do a white one only, and then do a mixed one.
What like mixed people? What do you mean?
I guess the mixed one kind of like the like a mix of like. I guess our rankings wouldn't really change.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Or maybe we'll just condense like a list of maybe like 35 people. Because I'm thinking about women. I'm thinking about maybe like Taraji P. Henson. We got to think about, like there's a lot of this. There's what's the guy? What's the other guy? The guy from Terrence Howard. Like all right. What do we do? All right, man. We out. That's gonna be fun. Appreciate everybody for watching, subscribing. If you ain't watched the full show, make sure you watch the replay. It was a good conversation we had throughout the entire podcast. I think this is one of our best episodes in a while. Honestly, just me after being a part of it, obviously. But follow on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Absent Share Podcast. It's your boy D. Fran.
Jack Harlow got washed.